Hey, um, so I'm using the cheesy YouTube camera. All right, so I just got finished listening to this rather interesting and somewhat insightful 11 minute talk by UCL. They're a British uh, uh, academic organization. Anyways, they're found on iTunes. It's called UCL, and you can find them on iTunes U. And the talk was about Asperger's, a study on Asperger's that reveals new insights. And in this segment, they were talking to Uta Frith, the woman who, if memory serves me correctly, is the one that translated Dr. Hans Asperger's work from German to English. Um, Considering the fact, first off, that they were interviewing Uta Frith, to me, lends quite a bit of credibility to her insights into Asperger's syndrome, considering that she was basically that close to the man who, discovered it, right? So the talk that they were giving, or the interview, really was about mind blindness. And this is the part of Asperger's syndrome that I think I find the most interesting. Because I think I experience it quite a bit. Now, just to generate some discussion here, I want to know from other Aspies out there what they think mind blindness is. Now, I'll tell you what I think mind blindness is. First off, what I understand it to be is that mind blindness is the lacking of the ability to anticipate the needs of others or anticipate events, or it's a lack of anticipation. Now, Uta Frith says that we have ways of compensating for this, especially through our linguistic skills. Now, Aspies, such as myself, and I know this is true of myself because I've been this way since I was a child, our linguistic skills are through the roof. When I was in 5th grade, for example, my grammar and my reading comprehension were at the same level as a sophomore in college. And that was in 5th grade. Maybe that says great things for 5th graders. Maybe it says not so many great things for sophomore college students. Anyways. But I do oftentimes find myself using words that most people don't use in a given day. My favorite word recently is pusillanimous, which is the word where we get the slang for P-U-S-S-Y from, concerning lack of courage. Basically it's cowardice. But apparently we compensate for mind blindness this way and in other ways. I think what Uta Frith is trying to say is that our enormous, or at least more than adequate, linguistic skills make us look, act, seem normal, and this apparently is a strength Uh, but I think there are other ways to compensate for mind blindness. And for me, uh, the best way to compensate for it is through logic. Like is, uh, my wife just came home from the hospital because of complications due to her pregnancy. Now she's 40 years old, going to be 40 this month, February, and we're on our fourth, actually our fifth pregnancy now, but our fourth child. It's a boy. His name is William, and we're going to call him Liam for short. Little nod to Liam Neeson there, one of our favorite actors. But hey, see, another symptom of Asperger's. Um, going off on a bit of a tangent there. Okay, snap back. Anywho, I think that to help my wife here at home and to compensate for this lack of anticipation, I've had to use logic. Now, logic to me, and I'm going Spock here, okay? Logic to me dictates that when an emergency like this happens, the last thing that should happen, it should never happen, period, is the loss of the rule of law in the family. My two oldest girls, when my wife was in the hospital for 2 days, they wanted to stay up late. They wanted to eat food in the living room. They wanted to come and sleep with me. One of them did. Now, I don't have a problem with my kids sleeping with me, just as long as they're going to sleep. But if they're playing around, they go back to the bed. In any case, I did not let my kids stay up late. I did not let them eat food in the living room. Because, you know, something that I learned in boot camp for the Navy, or naval boot camp, and that is the most dangerous thing that could ever happen to a ship and its crew is not a sinking or a capsizing. It's if that ship is ever set adrift and powerless. Because a number of things can happen. It can collide with another ship. It can collide with an underwater object. It can collide with a dock, or it could be caught up in a current and lost, and as has happened throughout history. And it can sink, you know. So, yeah, the most dangerous thing to happen to any vessel is a loss of control and being set adrift. It is the same with any organization in the world, be it a family or a corporation or team. And in my case, it's a family. Now, in this instance, I'm basically acting as the executive officer, not the captain. My wife does the banking, okay, and she takes care of the household. When she was in the hospital, and now, even though she's still home, even now she's come back home, and we have help from family, I got to take care of these responsibilities. I got to do these things. I got to pay the bills. I got to pay the insurance. I got to make sure that my kids get to bed, and it's not like I don't do these household things too, because I do. But in a situation like this, it's just a matter of stepping up. Okay, so now as a person with Asperger's, this is how I compensate. I use the old noggin. I know that if I don't step up, things will go to hell in a handbasket.